Hello, I have a dream I want to share with you. I had it Monday morning at 4 in the morning. I, I was outside. I was, I was at my home where I lived 30 years ago. And I think the reason why I was there was because I had to understand what direction I was looking in. And it was nighttime, and I looked up into the eastern sky, and I saw a cluster of hundreds of white orbs. They looked like they were probably 30,000 feet in the air. They were up really, really, really high. They could also be considered UFOs, but to me, they were white lights in the sky, and they looked like orbs. And I'm looking up at them, and I'm thinking, I needed to go in the house and let my family know what I was seeing in the sky. And the more I looked up in the sky, the more I realized there was clusters of them everywhere. Like they filled the sky, and they were moving, so they weren't stars. And about that time, I saw a great big neon angel in the sky. And this was the best image that I could find to describe how it looked. It was neon, so it didn't look like light bulbs. It was literally neon, and it was blue. And I'm looking at it, and it had a trumpet in its mouth. It wasn't like a shofar noise it was making either. It was a trumpet sound. It sounded like the kind of music you would imagine where there's a king getting ready to come, like a medieval type setting with the dun 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 type stuff. And I looked, and I noticed there was another angel, another neon angel, and they were really big in the sky. And I got the feeling that they were everywhere, that everybody in the world could see them. Like there was an announcement getting ready to be made. And one was blue, the first one I saw was blue, and the other one was green. I don't think the color matters. I think it just matters that they were neon angels. And I started walking. Everybody was out of their houses, and I walked to an area where there was a great big set of bleachers that was facing the east. And there were people sitting. They had filled the bleachers, and they were sitting like on mattresses, like their beds were there, and they were looking up at the eastern sky. And there was also like an MC, like a man's voice, and he was saying that our names were going to be called out, that my impression was that we were going to be judged and we were going to be called up. And there was a set of bleachers in front of me that was facing the south, and my first thought was, why isn't anybody sitting here? And the bleachers facing east are completely filled. I don't think there's any room for me. And I was thinking, I was having this internal conversation with myself, like, why don't you just squeeze in? There's got to be a reason why we shouldn't be sitting at these bleachers. And as I'm having this internal struggle with myself, the Holy Spirit spoke to me, and he said, I like you the way you are, because I struggle with being different and going against the flow. And he said, no, that's what I like about you. I don't like people being like sheep. I like people to follow their unique way that they were made, and not be like a herd. And I really needed to hear that, because earlier in the day I'd been praying and I'd been struggling with that. There was a lot going on in the world. There seems to be a lot of division all over Facebook with, between warring factions. It just seems like a lot of turmoil between people and even in families. And I've been getting a lot of that lately. So I had another dream a couple months ago, and it also had lights in the sky, like they were UFOs, like they were making pictures in the sky. And there was a lot of details in that dream, and I didn't really understand what I was seeing, but I put it together with this dream, seeing pictures in the sky. And these pictures were, in the Persian Gulf in Dubai, where they have made those islands and they're selling expensive real estate on those islands. And there's one cluster of islands that looks like the continents of the world. There's another one, I think it's all the countries in the world. And I think there's one that looks like a big palm tree. Well, it kind of looked like that in the sky, and there were animals and people, and this was at night that I'm watching this, and there was fear and panic, and people were stampeding, trying to get away from the sight of this because it just, to them, was frightening, but to me it wasn't. I don't know why, it didn't alarm me at all. And so, you know me, I looked up the Gematria. I thought, what is there to look up in this dream I had Monday morning? And I looked up the word neon angels, plural, neon angels. And I came across the one phrase that I thought really fit my dream, and it was, do not fear. And I think, you know, if you believe we're in the fig tree generation and you're concerned about prophecy being fulfilled and the return of the Lord and the rapture, I think, I'm not trying to set a date, but it really sounds like we need to have our attention more and more on the Lord, and His return seems to be even closer. So, yeah, I don't know why we were on beds and why we were looking at the eastern sky. It just, I don't know what the bed thing meant. And if I don't get a lot of dreams, and I have a hard time making these videos, but I want to be faithful to share them if I think there's anything to it. So if I get any more, I will make another video. And I had another dream 22 years ago that I looked up some gematria and got some really interesting things on it. It wasn't just a dream, it was an open vision I had at night, and I might make a video on that. So just let me know if you want to hear it. And God bless.